All right, so we're using those same skills as the day before the Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally's, but we're also going to combine like terms, which is kind of, or not kind of, it is part of the add or subtract, right? It's part of it. But combine like terms means we add numbers with the same variable. Okay, it has to have the same variable. Now the same variable can be just a x or nothing. All right, so let's go forth and do that. So we're gonna look at number 2 first. I know I always keep starting with number 2, but we're gonna look at number 2 first. So when I look at my parentheses here, we have 5x plus 3. Well, 5x plus 3 cannot be added together because this 5 has an x, but this 3 does not. So they are not like terms. So there's nothing for us to really do in the parentheses. But we got to get rid of the parentheses. So there's no exponents, right? There's no like exponent or an exponent. So there's no exponents. So that leaves multiplying and dividing. Well, parentheses, remember, mean that we multiply. That's what parentheses mean. So really, we're going to be multiplying this -2 that's in front of the parentheses. Okay? It's always that number in front. Don't forget the sign. You guys have done this. We called it distributing. Distributing is just a fancy word for multiplying. So -2 times 5. Well, we have a negative times a positive, so that's going to be a negative. And then 2 times 5x is 10x. Then we have -2 times 3. Again, negative times a positive is a negative. 2 times 3 is 6. Now, because we've done that multiplication, we distributed, we got rid of the parentheses. So all we have left is to bring down that 4x. Now we combine like terms. Our like terms here are 4x and -10x. So really, we have 4x plus -10x. Number that has the bigger sign, that's the one we'll keep. And between 4x and -10x, 10 is the bigger number, so that negative is the sign we'll keep. So really, you just got to figure out what's 10x minus 4, and that gives us 6x. Okay, so whenever they're not the same sign up front, you keep the sign of the bigger number, and then just subtract it how your brain likes to, right? Bigger number minus smaller number. And that'll help you figure out the correct answer while also using the right sign. For the most part, you guys can get the right answer, like the right number part, but you forget the sign, like how the sign should be. Okay, and then we didn't mess with this -6 here, so that's going to stay at -6. And that's our final answer. Just like before, we're trying to figure out the joke. So I'm going to skip 3. We're going to look at 4. Number 4, we have 3x minus parentheses 7x minus 3. So again, in the parentheses, we can't do anything. We have this minus sign in front of our parentheses. So what I'm doing is I'm multiplying this minus sign, right? So minus times 7x, well, that just becomes a minus 7x. A negative times a -3, well, 2 negatives make a positive, so that's a positive 3. And then we just bring down that 3x. Combine like terms, while like terms are 3x and -7x. So I'm going to write this on the side here. So 3x plus -7x. Well, and 7's my bigger number, so I'm going to use its sign, right? So that's going to be my sign as a negative. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is subtract how my brain likes to subtract. So I'm going to do 7x minus 3, which gives me 4. So we have 4x. So we get a negative 4x. Okay, this is just a way for your brain to help you memorize how to add or subtract when we got positive and negative numbers. And then we have a +3, which we didn't mess with. So +3. I think you guys can do 5 on your own. 6, I'm pretty confident you can do. But let's look at number 7. So 7, we have -x plus 1 minus 3 parentheses x minus 5. We can't do the parentheses x minus 5. We can't do that stuff inside. but we can multiply this negative 3. Negative 3 times x is a negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. We didn't mess with anything else, so we bring everything else down. Now let's just scooch, let's scooch that just a little bit closer. Okay, so now we're going to combine like terms. Well, we got a couple sets of like terms. We have negative x minus 3x. Those are like terms. Remember, this negative x is technically a negative 1x, but mathematicians don't like to write ones if they're being multiplied, so you got to be careful about that. So negative 1x minus 3x. Well, they have the same sign, right? We're adding them together, and they have the same sign. So when we add stuff that has the same sign, negative 1x and negative 3x have the same sign, they have a negative, your final answer is going to be negative. So all you have to figure out is what is 3x plus 1x? Well, that's a 4x. So when we combine those like terms that have the same sign right there, negative 4x is our final answer. Then we got 1 plus 15. Okay, I can do that. I hope. That's 16. All right, number 8 we will do together, and I think that'll be the last one we do. So number 8, oh boy, we got 2 parentheses, oh boy. All right, so again, inside the parentheses, we can't do that work because that work is not combined like termable. That's not a word. We cannot combine like terms. So what we need to do is we got to do some multiplication to get rid of those parentheses. We got to distribute. Well, in our first parentheses, we're going to distribute this 6 because that 6 is what is directly in front. So 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times negative 4, that's a negative 24x. Now we got to distribute this negative 8 because that's what's attached to the parentheses. Negative 8 times negative 3x is a positive 24x. And then negative 8 times positive 5 is a negative 40. All right, now we're going to combine like terms. So we got 42 and negative 40, or 42 minus 40. Oh, we know how to do that. That's a 2. We can do 42 minus 40. Okay, next, though, we have negative 24 plus 24. So think about it like this. If I have 24 x's, and I take away 24 x's, that's 0 x's. So that means we no longer, they cancel out. They are 0. We don't have to write 2 plus 0. So our final answer is just 2. All right, I think you guys could do the rest on your own so you guys can figure out the riddle, what do you call 4 bullfighters in quicksand? If you have any questions, please let me know, and good luck.